Hi guys, so I'm coming to you today from the middle of a lake. This is just what we do in Wisconsin in the winter when the weather gets all freezy. We just go for like low-key strolls across the top of frozen water. And this isn't like a little skating pond either. This is a 15 square mile lake I'm standing on top of. So why walk across a sheet of breakable water when there's some perfectly safe and non-potentially life-threatening land that'll do? First, I don't know if you've noticed, but looks like the horizon just goes on forever out here. I've never been to the desert, but I imagine that this is kind of what walking through the desert feels like, where your concept of distance gets a little warped. It feels like you can see forever and walk forever, and the sky is just huge and beautiful. But it doesn't feel like that from on shore. It's only out here when you're in the middle of things. Reason number 2, it's slidey. I think that one explains itself. Reason number 3 is interesting ice things. There's a lot of things that nature does just on the regular as if it's no big deal that we don't usually see or notice because we're usually not standing out in the middle of a lake. But there's spots where you can see where the water kind of was lapping over sheets of partially frozen ice, so it freezes in wave patterns. And there's spots where the top layer is all like spiky and angular, and it looks kind of scarred, but when you step on it, it shatters like glass under your feet, but there's still like a solid foot of ice beneath it. And there's big bubbles and little bubbles, and there's spots where it's totally like white and opaque, and there's spots that look so clear it kind of freaks you out to walk on it because it feels like you're walking on nothing. There's also spots where you can see little green pieces of seaweed frozen into the ice. Today the entire thing is covered up with a layer of snow, but all of these are enormously better than the gray slush and the balled up plastic bags and occasionally the frozen vomit that I usually find on the sidewalk. And finally, reason number 4 that I like going for walks on top of the lake is because it probably should scare me, but it doesn't. I used to be an extremely timid person. In the past couple of years, I think I've become a lot more brave. It's one of my favorite things about myself, and so I think it's important to remind myself how brave I am sometimes. And now my battery died, so you're gonna have to deal with my phone. I think it's important to remind myself how brave I actually am, even if it's silly. So tell me in the comments about what kind of nature-y adventures you've been on recently, or something that you've done that has given you a different perspective on the world than you're used to. If you like this video, please consider subscribing so that we can hang out and be friends. You can also find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram in the links below, and I'll see you next week. Bye!